So now that you've tried a little bit of the strengths focused identity practice, and now that we've given you an overview of the whole practice, we want to talk to you about the benefits of the practice and see if we can get you excited about doing it on a regular basis. So Gerald, would you get us started?
I will. The one of the real benefits is it reduces the what is known as the negativity bias that has been discovered and found in research of how people experience their moment to moment lives, and then what the studies show that people are more likely to focus on negative matters first, or more than positive things, and that they trace back to earlier times when maybe in the cave person days there was more threat, more danger for people, and the ones that were really wary and looking out for negative things to happen, they survived more and they passed on their genes. And so we got up to our current life society with just it's in our inheritance. It's just in our genes that people have more. They focus more on negativity things to protect themselves, you might say, than they do positive things. And that negativity bias has been discovered is not a good thing nowadays, because in the present society, your survival doesn't depend on protecting yourself from fear, from being taken out or something. So in today's society, what's more beneficial is to have people being positive with each other and working on group projects. Everything works better if people are positive, for the most part, and the negativity doesn't help to be successful in today's society. So that's been discovered and pretty proven by studies that the more optimistic people, the more positive people are the people who are most successful, and it works better. So there's no doubt about it that the negativity bias is not a good thing, and anything you can do to overcome it is good. And that's what our practice is really designed to do. Our practice is designed to reduce the negativity bias and make people more positive. So that's the positive. Okay.
All right, thank you. And second point, this practice changes your focus, wherein you become more aware of positive feelings and more articulate when describing your strengths. So I'm going to break this into two parts because it relates to the two steps that you've already practiced, where it says wherein you become more aware of positive feelings. That part relates to step one, and I'll talk about that first. When you're doing the practice, at first, it may be difficult to recall positive moments. It may be even more difficult to notice them as they occur in the moment. But with practice, it becomes easier and it happens more often. And the effect of bringing more attention to positive moments and positive feelings is that the attention amplifies the feelings. When we pay attention to something, it seems bigger on our landscape. And so by choosing to direct attention to positive feelings, we're impacting the effect of the negativity bias. I'll give you an example that I've been noticing around my neighborhood. We have a rash of broken car windows going on. We also have in Portland, Oregon, amazing camellia blossoms. And I've noticed that in my sense of my environment, the broken glass from this rash of car break-ins seems very important. Seems like it needs a lot of my attention. Seems like something I should warn people about, which isn't funny. I mean, you probably agree that's a pretty serious situation. Now, the question is it really necessary for me to ignore the bushes of camellia blossoms because of this situation that's going on with these petty criminals in my neighborhood? I, thanks to the practice, am able to balance out a reasonable response to what's happening that's negative and continue with my pursuit of what brings me happiness. And I can even value those positive feelings that are coming from those beautiful Sasanqua camellias. I can value them more. I can say this matters more. This is better for me. Yes, I can deal with what is negative in a realistic way and still make time for positive moments. And when it comes to more articulate when describing your strengths, with practice, this will also be reinforced. So on an external level with your positive moments and on an internal level, you will become better and better at knowing what you're good at knowing what you like about yourself. And just like with the example of the camellia blossoms, it will seem more important what you think about yourself than what others think about you. So if in the past you've received some negative messages from, I don't know, parents, teachers, employers, in the past, it may have loomed large on your sense of yourself, what these external forces had to say about you. This is the antidote to that, because grounded in your direct experience of your positive moments, your words for your strengths will start to dominate the landscape of your sense of yourself. And that will be a very good thing.
Great.
Gerald, will you tell us more about this second point?
Yeah, I would. The big thing about there are really two parts. You know, we have two steps, and there's reason for treating them as two separate steps is that they're different types of positivity. They both have positivity connected with them, but they're different. The first one, you're aware of it, of the positivity as you're experiencing it. It's like mindfulness. You're at the moment you feel positive and you know it, and that's pretty useful to be present to what's happening at the present time. And so you become more positive just by doing it. You become more aware at the moment. And you become more positive. And so that's positivity that way. Now, the second way, the articulating your strengths, is a more complicated process of positivity, but it really works it really is positive. When you think about yourself in terms of your strengths, that's changing your self-identity. And you don't know it's happening necessarily, but as you focus on your strengths and articulate them and write them down and make list and read, make it better, all that time you're changing your identity, because you actually, in a way, your words, when you articulate words for things, it becomes more real, more clear to you. So when you articulate these ideas for yourself, you are actually changing by you're becoming more the way you're articulating yourself to be. So it's a different form of positivity. But both of them are very important. Both of them raise your positivity, and so that's why we have two ways of doing it here, and that's what makes this process really useful and very helpful.